My name is Judson Powell, and I'm here, and I'm still, well, I don't want to say decoding the Bible, so I'm going to say debunking the Bible, and trying to expose you to the script being flipped by our oppressors over the centuries, and I want to do this because I can, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you in the scriptures how the scriptures were changed, and the original stories came from Cushite and Kemetic stories, not from where we think they came from. All right, and so as I break this down, I just want you to, number one, keep an open mind. Number two, some of this stuff it might not. It might not sit well with you if you're deeply devoted into Christianity, because it's just not going to sit well with you. So unless you have an open mind, or unless you're willing to receive truth and light and knowledge, then it might not be worth it for you. All right. So anyway, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, share, do all that good stuff. Once again, my name is Judson Powell. First of all, I'm going to go to the scriptures, and so I got my my pad here, and so basically it says, in the beginning, God. Okay, and once again, I'm going to go through the code. Right, generator, operator, destroyer, created the heaven and the earth. And the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. And the Spirit of God, generator, operator, destroyer, moved upon the face of the waters. And God said, "Let there be light," and there was light. And God said, and God saw the light, and it was good. And God divided the light from the darkness, and God called the light day, and the darkness he called night. And the evening and the morning were the first day. And God said, "Let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters, and let it divide the waters from the water." All right. Okay, so now, hold on. Can't get this thing to work. All right, here we go. Verse 7. And God made the firmament and divided the waters which were under the firmament from the waters which were above the firmament, and it was so. And God called the firmament heaven. All right, he called the sky heaven, not all these things that we have to describe heaven or whatever. So remember, the generator, the operator, the destroyer called the firmament heaven, and the evening and the morning were the second day. And God said, "Let the waters be under the heaven be gathered together into one place, and let the dry land appear," and it was so. All right. And then God called the dry land earth, and the gathering together of the waters he called seas, and God saw that it was good. So now what do we have? We have earth, we have heaven, earth, and seas, right? So we got water, we got air, and we have we have water, we have air, and we have land, right? Think about it. Okay, just keep all that stuff in the back of your mind. Also, okay. And God said, "Let the earth bring forth grass, and the herb, and yielding seed, and the fruit tree yielding fruit after his kind, whose seed is in itself upon the earth." And it was so. And the earth brought forth grass, and herb yielding seed after his kind, and the tree yielding fruit, whose seed was in itself after his kind. And God saw that it was good, and the evening and the morning were the third day. So now the generator, the operator, the destroyer is creating stuff. And remember, all of this is in the masculine sense. Everything is he, his, right? And then God said, "Let there be lights in the firmament of the heaven to divide the day from the night, and let them," and once again he used the word heaven, "and the day from the night, and let them be for signs and for seasons and for days and years." Okay, so now all you people that are always talking about, people worshiping the sun or astrology or all of this kind of stuff. What does it say? God said, let there be lights in the firmament of the heaven to divide the day from night, and let them be for signs. What does that sound like? Signs. And for seasons, and for days, and for years, right? I'll be with you always until what? The end of the age. Okay, think about these are scriptures, okay? All right. And then he says, and God made two great lights, the greater light to rule the day, and the lesser light to rule the night. He made the stars also. All right. So now, all of this stuff is stuff that God made. So if you use the stuff that God made, does that make you evil? Okay. And to rule over the day and to rule over the night and divide the light from the darkness. And God saw that it was good. And the evening, remember, he's saying he every time he created something, he said it was good. So why shouldn't we consider it to be good? And the evening and the morning were the fourth day. And God said, let the waters bring forth abundantly moving creatures that have life, and fowl, that it may fly above the earth in the open firmament of heaven. Heaven. So he's calling the air is heaven. As you go out, what? There, everybody is looking for heaven. Heaven is already here. You already have what? You have heaven on earth. And God blessed them, saying, be fruitful and multiply, and fill the waters and the seas, and let the fowl multiply on the earth. And God said, let the earth bring forth the living creature after his kind, cattle and creeping thing, and beast of the earth after his kind. And it was so. And God made the beast of the earth after his kind, and the cattle after their kind, and everything that creepeth upon the earth after his kind. And God saw that it was good. Once again, everything is what? Everything is in the masculine sense. There is nothing talking about women or females. I want you to keep that in the back of your mind. Not even the animals at this point have women or females, okay? And God said, let us make man in our image. So now we're getting to the nitty gritty. We down. He says, and God said, the generator, the operator, the destroyer, he says, let us, multiple, make man in our image. And I know every pastor, every preacher in the world, us, and then some people just deny that the term us exists, that the codus and scriptus, us, meaning what? Multiple, meaning there were a lot of gods, or right? He said, let us make man in our image, after our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, over the fowl of the air, and over the cattle, and over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth. So God created man in his own image. In the image of God created he him. And now what happens? He said in their image, and now all of a sudden he says he made them. He made him what? Male and female. He created them. All right? Male and female, he created them. Male and female. So right now, at this point in the creation story, right, there are now men and women. But up until that point, there was never any, even the trees and the seas and stuff, there was no women. All right? How poignant is that? And how much does that really matter? It matters a lot, because you name me a man on this earth that got here and didn't come through a woman. You name me an animal on this earth, except for the ones that are asexual, right? There are some animals that are asexual, but look, anybody that came here, if you are a man, you came here through a woman. So already, okay, we are in what we would call perversion, right? Right? You have perverted, the natural order of nature, because what really is God, the sun, the moon, the stars, all of that. So he's saying he set all this stuff into motion, but there was no, at this point, there's, he now just finally creates this woman. And he said, and he blessed them, And God said unto them, be fruitful and multiply and replenish the earth and subdue it and have dominion over the fish of the sea and over the fowl of the air and over every living thing that moveth upon the earth. All right, so now he gives them dominion, power, the power to subdue everything. And this is a man and a woman. It's not just man, okay? And he said, and behold, he said, I have given you every herb bearing seed, which is upon the face of all the earth, and every tree in which is the fruit of a tree yielding seed, to you it shall be for meat. So you got everything you need. He says, and to every beast of the earth, and to every fowl of the air, and to every flying thing that creepeth upon the earth, wherein there is life, I have given every green herb for you for meat. And it was so. And God saw everything that he had made, and behold, it was very good. And the evening and the morning were the 6th day. All right, so let's go back. All right. And I just want y'all to look at what's going on. Okay, so now the first part of this is your nature. Okay, the first part of this is talking about your nature as generator, operator, destroyer. Okay, he is showing you in these scriptures, even though these are not actual, but guess what? He's showing you right now that, look, this is your nature. Your nature is what? To generate, to operate, right? And it's going to get even deeper as time goes on, right? Because think about what it's saying, and think about the fact that up until a certain point, there was no female energy. We get all the way down almost to the end. He creates everything, and then finally he says, now we're going to create man, master, able, noble. We're going to create man in our image. So man is created in the image of God. And then there's another thing, and I want you to note that as well, because at a point, okay, when later on down the road, they're going to stop calling God, God, and they're going to stop calling man, man, but they're going to start calling them what? They're going to start calling them the son of man, or the son of God, or the sons of God, right? That's what's going to take place later on. And so watch that. Watch the feminine and the masculine energy that's being put out, okay? And the reason why I bring this up is because one of the main objectives of the King James Version of the Bible was to remove the feminine energy. Okay, so that's why up until now, there has been nothing mentioned about a woman. Everything was created, why? Through a generator, operator, destroyer, right? Through a master, able, and noble. Everything has been created thus far. And so think logically. You have to think logically. You have to think outside of what this is saying. Okay? There is not a man walking around on 2 feet that did not come from a woman. There is not an animal, a cow. He talks about cattle. He talks about the fowls. He talks about it. But every single thing on this earth, it comes from a female. So, who would the female logically be? So that's the question I want to put out there. Who would the female logically be? The female would logically be what? The generator, the operator, the destroyer. But the destroy from the standpoint of a couple of teachings ago, the destroyer from the standpoint of destroying fear and nurturing. Okay, generator, operator, destroyer. All right, so think about it. But destroyer from the standpoint of nurturing, because if you're just born and you don't have food, and then somebody gives you food, you feel protected and you feel safe, don't you? Anyway, gotta go. Hit like, hit subscribe. Judson Powell, like, subscribe. I love you all. Be back.